The benefits of temporary failure and the importance of imagination. President of the Polish Republic, Republic of Poland, members of Parliament, proud parents, graduates. Dear compatriots, the first thing I would like to say is thank you to the mass media for giving me the opportunity, extraordinary honor of meeting my compatriots in the June day on the street of Warsaw, Krakow, and other cities of Poland, my country. Now all I have to do is take a deep breath, squint the latest banners, and think myself. I am at the world's biggest convention of spring 2023. Speaking out on the issue of optimal governance of a country is great responsibility. I thought back to my own graduation from theological studies in Krakow. Reflection on this once day, our Bishop, His Excellency Dr. Stefan Bareła, went to Krakow to open the academic year. He said, I say, we are on the Mount of Tabor here, close to the Krakow Wawel Castle. Before us an achievable goal now. The first and next step to self-improvement. Still we stay in Krakow, and then I was breaking my head. I asked myself what I would like to know when I left school and what important lessons I have learned in the next future. On this wonderful day, 4th June 2003, I came up with two answers. According to our failure, benefits of temporary failure, and the importance of imaginations. When gathered to manifest our dissatisfaction with their current rule of Poland, I decided to talk to you about the advantages of defeat. I want to extol the crucial importance of imaginations as well. Half a lifetime ago, I found an uncertain balance between the ambitions I had for myself and what those closest to my expected of me. I was convinced that the only thing I ever wanted to do was to be able to express myself, which evolved as you know, into writing stories. You may read my text through internet. I wanted to study physics, first of all, but a compromise was reached, and I went to study theology. In seminary, Roman culture finally prevailed, according to our professors of Latin, and so on. Mom, she might as well have found out about it when Plutarch, Livius, Cicero were brought to her apartment. You know, the responsibility rests with you for your entire life. I've been poor since my youth. Poverty entails fear and stress, and sometimes depression means 1,000 petty humiliations and hardship. I spend far too much time on books, I ponder now, and for too little time going out with people. What else? Talent and intelligence have never made anyone immune to the vagaries of fate. You can be driven by the fear of failure as much as by the desire to succeed. We all have to decide for ourselves what constitutes failure, but the world is very willing to give you a set of criteria if you let it. You imagine, just 7 years after graduating from college, I failed on an incredible scale. The extremely short-lived priesthood in the parish collapsed. First parish, Konopiska, Żąśnia parish, Sosnowiec parish collapsed. And I was left unemployed. The fears my mother had about me. I was the biggest failure I've ever known. I had no idea then how far the tunnel went, and for a long time every light at the end of it was hope rather than reality. Failure meant getting rid of the important. I began to direct all my empty to completing the only job that was important to me. Finally, I was released because my greatest fear had come true and I was still alive. I still had a mother I adored, an old typewriter, and a great Christian idea of meeting with their other people. And so the bottom became a solid foundation on which I rebuilt my life. I began to write, as I said. So failure gave me an inner security that I never got by passing exams. I found that I had a strong with and more discipline than I expected. Such knowledge is a true gift for me till now. Life is difficult and complicated and beyond anyone's total control, and it is humility that will allow you to survive its vicissitudes. The second theme, next, the importance of imagination, became because of the role it's playing in rebuilding my life. I woke up my imagination late, just after my mother died. Imagination is the source of all inventiveness and innovation. It is power that allows us to emphasize with people whose experiences we have never shared. I've visited lots of Polish Catholic mission and many Polish believers around the entire world. I left my mother's house. Then I rented an apartment in Częstochowa. In my small office, I read the scrolled and hastily distributed underground text smuggled out of totalitarianism regime. For the rest of my life, you imagine, I will remember walking down an empty corridor. I heard a cry of pain and terror from behind the closed door, such as I had never heard before. There was in Dąbrowa Górnicza and then in Częstochowa. And yet, you see, I learned a lot about human kindness in this way. We live in the Third Republic, mobilizes thousands of people who have never been tortured or imprisoned for their beliefs, to act on behalf of those who have. The power of human empathy leading to collective action saves lives and frees prisoners. And so on. Something important was written by Plutarch. What we achieve internally will change reality. Beloved, the way you vote, the way you live, the way you protest, now on the street in Warsaw, and so on, the pressure you put on your government has an impact for far beyond your borders. This is your privilege and your burden. So together we have the power to imagine better more and more. Our society is now beautiful, incredibly development, economic, social, civic, at the beginning of the third millennium. Now we are opening up to Europe, but also to family friendship. The March of June 4th, 2023, once directed me to the imagination of Poland, which 84 years ago survived the ordeal Nazi aggression, the destruction of Polish culture, which does not equate to momentary curses on the street. We don't have to curse. We are still sometimes rebuked. Our Christian imagination is something more. It is the culture of being Polish. There has always been a beautiful strength in the Polish nation to dream of human friendship. You remember the words of Seneca, the Roman Empire poet. I met him as I was running down the corridor of the classics in my youth. What is a fairy tale? Such is life. What matters is not how long it is, but how good it is. So, I wish you a very good life.